Fortnite Battle Royale, the gaming sensation that took the world by storm in 2018 due to a variety of factors. One of these factors being its iconic, one-of-a-kind cartoony art style among a sea of generic military shooters where every weapon is an assault rifle that plague the Battle Royale genre and gaming as a whole. However, over time, there has been a brewing sentiment that something is missing and that something doesn't feel right. While the game is nowhere near its 2018 highs, it's not like it is dead by any means. Despite that, it just doesn't feel the same anymore, and one of the biggest reasons being so is the degradation of Fortnite's art style. From obnoxious advertisements that detract from Fortnite's unique character design to the movement towards realistic graphics, this is the downfall of Fortnite's art style and why you should care, whether you are a competitive or casual player. To figure out why this is a problem though, we need to go back to the beginning. When Fortnite was first being developed, it was originally intended to be a PvE tower defense game in which you would utilize the building and editing system to set up defenses against zombies. The original art style leaned more towards a gritty and realistic world that was dark and gloomy, and looking at some of the original art, it gives off Silent Hill and Outlast type vibes. However, this was expected of a zombie tower defense game and was therefore extremely boring, and Epic agreed. Former art director of Fortnite, Peter Ellis, would recount this in 2018, saying that as much as the team liked the original art style, they knew it wasn't the right choice. Ellis knew the gritty art style was generic, and knew if the game were to have any staying power, it would need to take inspiration from other popular free-to-play games. Ellis noted how many of the most iconic free-to-play games from the early 2010s were bright, colorful, and cartoony in nature.
What we were gonna do for the long term of the project. And as much as the initial art approach was really cool and something that we all liked a lot, we were all passionate about it, everybody was excited about it, we knew it wasn't the right choice. We were thinking about long-term games, games as a service, free-to-play games, these types of things that people would engage with for hundreds of hours, if not years of engagement. And what we saw was a lot of those games tended to be brighter or more stylized.
And in retrospect, that statement still holds up, with games such as Minecraft and Team Fortress 2 still thriving, even over a decade after creation. With this in mind, Fortnite would begin to shift its art style into something truly unique. Environments were bright with blue skies, models on buildings and characters were made to be less angular and harsh, and enemies were no longer designed to be decrepit and depressing. And when Fortnite launched in 2017, the immense fanfare the game generated showed it had paid off. And with the pivot from the dying tower defense genre to the now trendy Battle Royale genre, the combination of its unique art style, cartoony nature, and fun gameplay could be fully realized, sending the game to the stratosphere. And for the next few years from approximately 2018 to late 2020, all was good. Fortnite kept up their winning formula. Each new addition to the game was uniquely Fortnite. Unique Fortnite-only characters such as Drift and Omega, weapons and items that were heavily stylized to fit into Fortnite or even just completely unique to Fortnite itself. And most importantly of all, the preservation of the bright environment that everyone came to love. No matter where you were on the map or the type of biome, the game looked like Fortnite. Tilted Towers, Haunted Hills, Wailing Woods, Paradise Palms are all examples of completely different environments that still confer to the game that they were designed for. Though in this era, the signs of the game's downfall would begin to manifest. With its mainstream popularity never before seen in gaming, companies and advertisers now wanted in. However, not only were collaborations few and far between in this era, but Fortnite was also very selective with who to pick for advertisements. Throughout the 2 years Chapter 1 lasted, Fortnite saw only 11 collaborations that significantly impacted the game, and the majority of these collaborations were well received as not only were they novel, but they also came with additional gameplay additions that players enjoyed. The 2018 Marvel collaboration was entirely relegated to a limited time mode. The Marshmello collaboration brought a one-time concert, and while the Batman collaboration did affect the main game a bit, the changes were still minimal, just being a grappler and a recoloring of Tilted for a few weeks. As Fortnite began to evolve, these collaborations would get more ambitious in nature, and this is where Fortnite would completely spiral out of control. Instead of the collaborations being sprinkled in here and there, we began getting entire seasons themed around collaborations. Chapter 2 Season 4, entirely themed around Tony Stark and Marvel. Chapter 2 Season 5 and The Mandalorian, Chapter 3 Season 1 and Spider-Man. You get the idea. No longer were seasons dictated by the unique storylines of the characters created by Epic, but instead were dictated by whatever random character came from the IP that gave Epic the biggest paycheck. Due to this overflood of collaborations, the item shop would need to be expanded in order to make room for all the new microtransactions. Seriously, when was the last time you were excited to look at the item shop? Because since mid-2021, the item shop has just been a glorified interstate highway billboard for mainstream media IP and cosmetic slop. Here's a fun game you can play. Go on to fnbr.co/shop and compare the item shop of the current day to their archives of the shop in 2018/2019. The change is insane. Worst of all, since all these collaborations are based off of IPs with completely different art styles than Fortnite, the new maps and graphics we have been getting have transformed for the worst. These days, the game has adopted a much more basic and realistic tone in order to keep the canvas clean for whatever slop Fortnite needs to throw on the map for when a big media company decides to throw them a paycheck. There's a reason why Fortnite OG was not only so successful but also ran buttery smooth, which gets into the player experience. So why should you care? Well, as I just mentioned, all this bloat from constant collaborations has caused the game's performance to tank over time. This bloat has also caused extreme balancing issues for gameplay. Because Epic wants to put these collaborations on full display, many of the items brought in are often kept in competitive, which can ruin the experience a lot of the time. Pre-nerfed Spider-Man gloves in Chapter 3 Season 1, Stark Industries being the de facto best drop in Chapter 2 Season 4, or whatever stupid anime fireball shit this was in Chapter 4 Season 3. So to conclude, art style is very important to the preservation of any game, not just Fortnite. Which is why I'll end this video off with an excerpt from Team Fortress 2 content creator Zesty Jesus on a video he made discussing this exact issue that TF2 is also struggling with.
You are indeed allowed to express yourself with the cosmetics in a video game within the limitations and restrictions of that game, right? The game should not lose its identity in order to facilitate yours. That's the problem. Video games should not aim to reflect each individual person lest it lose what makes the game unique and special. And we have many games over the years that have fallen into that trap, Fortnite being a perfect example of this, where originally Fortnite did have a semblance of its own unique original style and feel to the game, right? It looked like Fortnite, but now it's just a massive billboard for everything. You have Goku, you have My Hero Academia, you have Transformers, you got Batman, Spider-Man, fucking Keanu Reeves is in there. Various rappers and other famous people. The developers of this game keep throwing in more crap to try to appeal to as many people as possible so they can buy their favorite characters and play as them in the video game. Because in the modern sense of reflecting personality, you have more people that identify with products rather than who they are as a person. It's like nowadays, like, hey, you ask someone, describe yourself, who are you as a person? Most people now will go, oh, I like Disney movies, or I like Oreo cookies, right? They don't share who they are. Like for me, I am a son, I am a Catholic, I am a scientist, you know,
If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, then like, subscribe, follow all my socials, and check out this video about the history of the Fortnite squad's kill record.